Hi, hello, good evening children, how are you doing? So last week as you all requested, I think you would have gone through the life process chapter, that's what you had asked for. And this week we will be doing the chapter heredity, which we have already done children. So we have done part 1, part 2 heredity, and since it's a vast chapter, we thought we can take up more MCQs, more assertion and reasoning questions, and this time I have also picked up questions from the previous year question paper children. Okay, so you can just quickly have a look as to what kind of questions have appeared from the last year question paper, very recent paper. Good evening Vishal. Okay, and next week's I will be doing our environment. Okay, so kindly go through this chapter, our environment, and come so that you will be able to answer the questions, and sir will also be doing life process part 2. Okay, if there is anything else that you require, kindly post your comments. I keep telling you every class, please post your comments. Good evening Netra. Okay, but none of you have posted and asked for, I think previous Heredity 2 students had asked me, ma'am please explain me this concept of DNA and some kind of variations, which I have already explained. If you require anything in particular children, please be free to post in your comments. And also I want to insist here, kindly join our WhatsApp group, WhatsApp channel, so that you get all our updates. All PDFs, all links will be available on that WhatsApp group. Please do join it. And once the session ends, we will also be posting our PDF in the comment. The link will be available. Kindly download that PDF. Alright. So with this, we will start our today's session very quickly. Not many questions. Good evening, Harshvardhan. Okay. Not many questions, whatever has been left out, as I told you, I have been picking up questions only from the previous year question papers. So quickly we will have a look at these questions. All right. Okay. So we will start with the MCQs first. The first question says, independent inheritance of two separate traits, shape and color of seeds in Mendel's cross on pea plants resulted in a observable ratio of. Okay, so I want all you kids to participate. Good evening Rachita. Okay, please participate and give in your answer. It's just like a revision for you children, so that when you see this question in your question paper, you will be absolutely thorough with the answers. So we have the option 3:1, 9:3:3:1, 1:1, 9:4:2:1. Okay, so what could be the answer? We have independent inheritance of two separate traits. Okay, so what are the two separate traits that they have asked? One is the shape and color of the seeds. Okay, so what is the ratio? Put in your answers children. What do you think is the answer? Harshvardhan. Okay, so we have Gautami, Rachita, Infinite in one. All of them have given the correct answer. Very good. So here we have two separate traits, which means it is definitely referring to a dihybrid cross. Correct. So what is the ratio of a dihybrid cross? The ratio of a dihybrid cross is 9:3:3:1. Okay. So ratio of dihybrid cross is 9:3:3:1. And monohybrid cross. Netra, you have given the answer for monohybrid cross, dear. So monohybrid cross is 3:1. Okay, but the question has spoken about dihybrid cross. All right. Next question. In human males, all the chromosomes are paired perfectly except one. This or these unpaired chromosome is or are large chromosome, small chromosome, Y chromosome, X chromosome. Okay. So we have four options, 1 and 2, 3 only, 3 and 4, 2 and 4. Okay, no problem dear, no problem. We are all learning. Netra. Okay. So here, what is the question talking? In human males, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? So they are saying that all the chromosomes are paired except for one. So what is that which is unpaired? So Netra has given the answer first. Anybody else who is going to give the answer? So we have only one student. Okay, Gautami says B, which is 3 only. Harshvardhan and Netra have given us the answer, which is 1Q. What is 1Q? I don't understand. Vishal Kumar has said 1Q. I don't know what is 1Q. We don't have that option here, Vishal. All right. So the answer for this is option C, which Netra and Harshvardhan has given. So it is the allosomes or sex chromosomes which are going to be unpaired. Okay, Vishal Kumar has given option D, which is the wrong answer. Vishal, no problem, we are learning. Okay, so all the chromosomes, as I told, in human beings, we have got 23 pairs of chromosomes, children. So out of these 23 pairs of chromosomes, we can divide them as 22 pairs of autosomes and one pair of sex chromosomes, or you can call them as allosomes. Okay, so these allosomes are going to be X, Y in case of a human male, and in case of a human female, it's going to be XX. Correct? So autosomes are the ones which is not taking part in the process of reproduction. They are all seen in the vegetative cells or somatic cells, and they are all paired, children. The one which is not paired is only X and Y, because they are the gametic chromosomes seen in case of the sperm and the egg. All right. Okay, we have the answer given. Okay, a zygote which has an X chromosome inherited from the father will develop into a boy, girl. X chromosome does not determine the sex of a child, either boy or a girl. Okay, very simple question this was. I think most of them have seen the answer as well. Okay, so let me again read it out. We have a zygote which has an X chromosome inherited from the father. Yes, so Rachita has given the answer. So I have the father, the male, and the female. We have the zygote formed here. Okay, and we are going to understand that from the father, the zygote has received X chromosome. Okay, so the male has got X and Y chromosome, and he has given the X chromosome here. The female has got X and X chromosome, and she is definitely going to give X. So this zygote is going to be XX. XX is nothing but a girl child. Okay, so I think most of you have got it right. All of you have got it right. Okay. New species may be formed if. So when do I have the formation of new species, children? Very good. Yes, Pushpa has given the explanation also. Very good, Pushpa. So DNA undergoes significant changes in the germ cells. The chromosome number changes in the gamete. There is no change in the genetic material. Mating does not happen. So we have 4 options, and the question has asked, when do I have a new species which is going to be formed? Option A says 1 and 2, B says 1 and 3, C says 2, 3 and 4, and D says 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Please give in your answers. What do you think is the answer for new species will be formed if? When do I have the formation of new species? Okay, Netra has put a question mark asking, is it A, ma'am? I am not really sure. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? Okay, Gautami says A, infinite in 1. I don't know the person's name, says A. Okay, all of them have given A. Kushi, Pushpa, Rachita. Okay, Vishal says A. Okay, very good. All of them said A. So, what is this new species, children? New species means there is going to be a fusion of gametes. So when I have the fusion of gametes, when I have fertilization, I am going to have a new species, correct? So this new species is going to result in variation, and variation is going to result in evolution, children. Okay. So what is happening here? There is fusion of the male and female gametes. That means definitely fertilization is happening, mating is happening. The fourth option says mating does not take place. No. So that can't be the answer. 3 says there is no change in the genetic material. When there is no change in the genetic material, definitely there is no variation. Correct? So again, that can't be the answer. DNA undergoes significant changes in the germ cells. Yes, because there is fertilization. Chromosome number changes in the gamete. Definitely yes. Correct? Because whatever was 46 becomes 23 here. So I get 23 to give a 46 zygote. Correct? So it is going to be 1 and 2, which is option A. So all of you have got it right. Very good. Next question. A trait in an organism is influenced by, what is a trait? A trait means character. Okay. A particular character in an organism is influenced by paternal DNA only, maternal DNA only, both maternal and paternal DNA, neither by paternal nor by maternal DNA. Okay. So what do you think a particular phenotype in an organism is influenced by? Okay, very simple question this is. Again, the concept remains the same. The way the question is being asked is different. Okay, Rachita, Gautami, Pushpa. Okay, Rachita and Gautami says C, Pushpa says A. All right. But why Pushpa? Why not the mother influence? Okay, so we have Harshvardhan, Kushi. Okay, everyone has given the answer except for Pushpa, I think. Netra also has given C. Very good. Okay, so again, in an organism, if I am going to take, definitely the organism is formed by fusion of both the male and female. Correct. So the organism is going to have half the characteristics of the father, half the characteristics of the mother, because it's going to be a fusion of both. 50%, 50%, correct? So it's going to be both the maternal and paternal DNA, correct? Yes, Pushpa, 50-50. So that's going to be both the maternal and paternal DNA, which is option C. All right, no problem, Pushpa. Next question. In peas, a pure tall plant is crossed with a short plant. The ratio of pure tall plants to short plants in the F2 generation. Kindly read the question properly, children. They have already given you the genotype and they have asked you, don't just go by the monohybrid cross. Okay, please read the question. They have asked the ratio of pure tall plants to short plants in the F2 generation. 1:3, 3:1, 1:1, 2:1. So I told you, please read the question properly. Infinite in 1 and Rachita has given B as the option. Despite me telling you, read the question properly. So we have somebody, Pushpa. Okay, Aru says B. All right. Netra says B. Okay, so except for Pushpa, I think most of them, I think all of you are giving B as the answer. Harshvardhan, now they say, okay, they have changed it to C. All right. Children, please keep in mind, you are going to read the question properly. Okay, this is the first thing that you are going to understand. Don't just go by the monohybrid cross. I told you, don't just go by the monohybrid cross ratio as 3:1, which all of you has given. Viresh again has given B as the answer. The monohybrid test ratio or monohybrid cross ratio is 3:1, which all of you have given me. But the question is talking about pure tall children. Okay, pure tall plants to short plants. So if you take the monohybrid cross 3:1, 3 tall plants, out of the 3 tall plants, we are going to have capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, correct? And this is small t, small t. So, if you look at the genotypic ratio, it's going to be 1:2:1 children, correct? And the question is talking about pure tall. What do we mean by pure tall? Both has to be the same letter. Okay, both has to be the same letter. So where am I having both same letters, both capital T here and both small t here, correct? So what is it? It is 1:1. Okay, it is not 3:1, it is 1:1 children. Okay, I hope you all understood why it is 1:1. Yes, Vishal is again given me 2. It is not 2, it is going to be 1:1 because the question is talking about pure tall plants. Alright? Yes. So, yes, Netra. Pure tall plants means both have to be capital T. Homozygous tall. Yes, Pushpa. Okay. So, the ratio is going to be not 3:1 but 1:1. Alright. So, very few students, I think only 3 students, Gautami, Pushpa and Harshvardhan had given me the correct answer. Very good children. So, please read the question properly and answer. Okay. The number of chromosomes in a human gamete is 23, 46, 92, 69. This is the most simplest question which I have seen. Okay. So, we know that the gametes are going to have half the number of chromosomes when compared to all the somatic cells, correct? So, please give in your answers. What are the number of chromosomes in a human gamete? So, just now I am giving explanation, Gautami. Okay. Harshvardhan says B infinite. 1 and Aru. Okay. Pushpas. Yes, very good, very good. Most of them are giving the correct answer. Okay. So, I think somebody has given the wrong answer, giving 46 chromosome. I just told you that it is half the number of chromosome in a human gamete. So, sperms and eggs are going to have 23 chromosomes, not 46 chromosomes, children. Okay. Alright, the occurrence of 2 or more alleles of a gene in a population is called. When I have 2 or more alleles of a gene in a population, what is it called? Is it called polymorphism? Is it called homozygosity, heterozygosity, inbreeding? What is that concept called? Okay. No problem, Vishal. Okay. So, given your answers, what do you call this particular concept where I have more than 2 alleles present in a population? Okay, I think students are slightly hesitating to answer this question. Okay, I have Pushpa has given C, Harshvardhan. Okay. When you have doubts, follow this elimination method, children. What is elimination method? Look at the 4 options, okay, and you are going to ask yourself, what is the meaning of inbreeding? What is the meaning of heterozygosity? What is the meaning of homozygosity? What is polymorphism? I am very sure you all of you know what is homozygosity, what is heterozygosity, correct? Homozygosity means, this is what is homozygosity, where I have both the alleles present same. Either both are capital, both are small. This is homozygosity. What is heterozygosity? This is heterozygosity. One dominant, one recessive. Correct? So, definitely these two cannot be the answer. Correct? So, we rule out B and C. So, you have at least 50-50 here, either A or D. Okay? So, what is the question? 2 or more alleles of a gene in a population. Definitely it cannot be homozygosity or heterozygosity. What is inbreeding? You know what is breeding? In is within. Correct? Breeding means fertilization, crossing of individuals in the same population. So this has nothing to do with crossing. So this can't be the answer. So two or more means poly. Correct? So if I have more than two, what is the word that I am going to use? I am going to use the word poly. Poly means many. So it is going to be polymorphism. Okay. So kindly follow this elimination method. What is elimination? Rule out on the options and analyze. Alright. I hope you are understanding what I said. Kindly do this in case you have a doubt with any kind of question, children. Okay. So two or more means it is going to be poly. So the concept is called as polymorphism. Alright. Why is Vishal giving me C now? After I have given you the answer. Okay. Which of the following is a drawback of asexual reproduction? Okay. So asexual reproduction is happening. What is drawback? Disadvantage. So what do you think is a disadvantage of asexual reproduction? Polymorphism. It allows for rapid reproduction in favorable conditions. It increases the chances of survival in a changing environment. It results in no genetic variation in the offspring. Okay. So what do you think is a disadvantage? I think Infinite One has given the answer. Okay. Aru, Infinite One. Can I know your name, dear? Infinite in One. I don't know what it is. Okay. So that at least I know your name. Okay. I think all of you have got it right. Correct. So what is a drawback? What is a disadvantage of asexual reproduction? It is a clone. There is no variation at all. There is no mixing of genes. There is no recombination. There is no evolution. No variation, no evolution. Correct. So what does it mean? It means that there is no variation here. Rest, whatever I have shown you here are advantages. All right. Okay. The genetic constitution of an organism is called Viksha. All right. Okay. What is the genetic constitution of an organism called? Genotype, phenotype, variation, gene. Very simple question. What do we call the genetic constitution of an organism? All right. The most simplest question here, we are talking about genetics, and this is the basics of heredity, which you all must be knowing. Correct? Yes. So all of you have got it right. Let's not waste more time. So genetic constitution is called as genotype. Phenotype is the morphological appearance of an individual. Variation is mixing of genes. Gene is a basic structural and functional unit of heredity. All right. Most of you have got it right. Okay, two pink colored flowers on crossing result in one red, two pink and one white flower progeny. The nature of the crosses. Okay, this is just a question to confuse you. Don't get confused. So it's called cross fertilization, self pollination, double fertilization, no fertilization. So I have two pink colored flowers which have been crossed, and once I cross them, I am having one red colored, two pink colored and one white colored flower. Okay. Okay, Vishal, this chapter is of high importance. Lot of weightage it holds, which is why we are having 3 sessions. Okay. All right. Okay. And we have also taken those chapters which has lot of weightage only. We have not chosen the ones which have come with less marks. So we have seen question papers in which you have lot of questions from this particular chapter. How do organisms reproduce, life process, and these are the chapters of high weightage. Okay. Pushpa has given B here. I think she is the only one who has answered. What is self-pollination? Self-pollination means male and female present in the same organism. Correct? And they undergo inbreeding, pollination by themselves. That is self-pollination, Pushpa. Okay, double fertilization. Last class I had explained double fertilization is a characteristic of angiosperms, where the plant or flower is going to undergo fertilization 2 times, one to give the endosperm, the other to give the embryo. That is double fertilization. No fertilization can never be the answer. So, what is the answer? It is cross fertilization, because we have 2 pink color flowers. When I have 2 pink color flowers, definitely self-pollination cannot happen. Self-pollination can happen only when there is one flower, and that one flower is having both the male and female. Okay, so that's not the answer. The answer is cross fertilization. Okay, a Mendelian experiment consisted of breeding tall pea plants bearing violet flowers with short pea plants bearing white flowers. The progeny all bore violet flowers, but almost half of them were short. This suggests that the genetic makeup of the tall parent can be depicted as. Please read the question, understand the question, and then answer, children. Okay. So, they are asking you the genotype of the parents. Please understand the question and then answer. Okay. So, we have an experiment. They have got tall pea plants bearing violet flowers, and the other parent is short pea plant bearing white flowers. So, when they have crossed the 2 plants, what did they see? They have seen that almost half of them were short, okay, but all of them had violet flowers. Okay. So, what do you think is the answer? So, infinite in 1 week, Shah is asking, is it D? Okay. Anybody else who want to take a guess? So, first you write down tall and violet flower. So, they have used the word capital W. So, we will take it as tall pea plants bearing violet flowers. Okay. And the other one is short pea plant bearing white flowers. So, this is the genotype of the parents. Aru says B, Netra and Pushpa has come up with C. Okay. So, we have the progeny, all of them with violet flowers. When all of them are violet, definitely it is a dominant trait. I do not have a single plant having a white flower. So, this is ruled out, correct? Since all of them are violet flower, it is going to be capital W, capital W. But almost half of them were short. Half of them are short means remaining half is tall. So, I am going to have capital T as well as small t, children, correct? Yes, did you all understand? Half of them are short, meaning I have tall plants also, so definitely I should have capital T here, and I should have small t also because they are short, and all of them are violet. So, it is capital T, small t and capital W. Did you understand, all of you? So, only Netra and Pushpa have got it right. Very good, children. Okay. So, that is the answer. I hope Aru, Viksha and the others understood how to solve this problem. Yes. All right. Okay. Select the group which shares maximum number of common characters. Okay. So, which group do you think has most of the characters in common? 2 genera of 2 families, 2 species of a genus, 2 genera of a family, 2 individuals of a species. Okay. For this, you have to know the hierarchy. I don't know how many of you are thorough with the hierarchy. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Okay, this is the hierarchy of classification. I hope you are aware of this. So, based on that, you will choose your answer. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Okay. So what do you think is the group which is going to share most number of common characteristics? Pushpa, Aru, Viksha, Gautami, Harshvardhan. Any idea? Okay. So remember, the topmost is kingdom, the lowermost is species. Okay. Okay, no hierarchy. All right. So remember this thing that the uppermost in the hierarchy is kingdom. Okay. The lowermost is species, children. Kingdom is only two. Either you can have plant kingdom or animal kingdom, nothing more than that. Either it is the plants or the animals. Okay. So when you go to the 11th grade, you will study all this in detail. For now, just know that the topmost is kingdom, which is either plant kingdom or animal kingdom. Okay. The lowermost is the species. So we have kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species given. This is the hierarchy. Okay. So don't break your head for now. For now, just focus on these two things. Uppermost is the kingdom, lowermost is the species. Species are the ones which can mate with each other. Only two species belonging to the same category can mate. That means a Homo sapiens. I hope you know binomial nomenclature, Homo sapiens. Correct? And we underline. So sapiens is the species here, Homo is the genus. Correct? So after species, just above species is the genus. Okay? So two organisms can mate only if they belong to the same species. A Homo sapiens can mate only with the Homo sapiens. Human beings can mate only with another human being. Correct? We have other species also like Homo habilis, Homo neanderthal. Okay? So Homo might be same, but this species can change. Okay? But we cannot mate. Cat can mate only with a cat. A dog can mate only with a dog. That means they all belong to the same species. So the maximum number of common characteristics is going to be shared by two individuals of the same species. Okay? Not anyone else. So as you go higher in the hierarchy, the number of common characteristics decreases. Okay? So number of common characteristics will decrease as you go above in the hierarchy. Okay? So the lowest is the species. So maximum number of common characteristics will be seen by the individuals of the same species. Okay? So please know this, children. Okay, if a round yellow seeded pea plant is crossed with a wrinkled seeded pea plant, the seeds to be produced in the F1 generation will be wrinkled and yellow, round and green, wrinkled and green, round and yellow. Okay. Thank you, Netra. Thank you for the feedback, ma'am. Okay. So, if a round seeded plant, a round yellow seeded plant is crossed with a wrinkled green seeded plant, what do you think is the F1 generation? Most simple question. Yes, Pushpa. Kingdom will have more diverse. That's why we have only two kingdoms. One is a plant kingdom. The other one is animal kingdom. So when I say plant kingdom, I can have bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, everything. When I talk about animal kingdom, I can have birds, reptiles, mammals, amphibians, fishes, frogs, anything I want. So you see the kingdom has a bigger variation. Correct? So if it is species, it is only Homo sapiens with another Homo sapiens. Okay. Alright. So coming back here, capital R, capital Y crossed with small r, small y. My F1 generation is going to be capital R, capital Y, small y. Correct? So that's going to be round yellow. Okay, so we'll look at some assertion and reason questions. Assertion says a tall plant which always produces tall offsprings is considered heterozygous for height and is represented by genotype capital T and small t. Reason says a tall plant which always produces tall offspring is homozygous dominant and will always produce only one type of gamete, which is capital T. Okay, Pushpa has given the answer. Very good. Okay, so looking at the assertion is telling tall plant which always produces tall offsprings is heterozygous, which is definitely wrong. Correct? This has to be a pure line plant. It has to be homozygous. So our assertion is false. Reason is saying tall plant produces tall offsprings, homozygous dominant. Always the gamete is capital T, which is correct. So assertion is going to be false, but the reason is true. Why did Pushpa change the answer to C? Okay, assertion is false, the reason is true. What you said earlier is correct, Pushpa. Why did you get confused? Okay, next assertion says in some reptiles the temperature at which fertilized egg is incubated before hatching plays a role in determining the sex of the offspring. The reason says in turtle high incubation temperature above 33 degrees Celsius leads to development of female offsprings, whereas in lizards high incubation temperature results in male offspring. I don't know how many of you have which is, it was a yes, previous one only, D, you had given D answer. No, that is correct. Okay, so we have the assertion here. Okay, so I don't know how many of you know about this particular concept, that the temperature of, okay, Pushpa says A, Infinite Viksha says A, okay, alright. So I hope you all are aware that temperature can decide the sex of the offspring. Yes, temperature does decide the sex of the offspring. That is why the hen incubation also, if it is, okay, D was for round yellow, okay, okay Pushpa, no problem. Okay, so the organism sits on the egg and it is going to incubate it for a particular period of time, and that temperature decides whether that offspring is going to be a boy or a girl. So definitely temperature is playing a very important role in determining the sex of the offspring. Reason they have said in turtle high incubation temperature above 33 degrees Celsius leads to female, whereas in lizards high temperature results in male. This is also correct. Okay, so most of you, that is, I think all of you, Viksha, Pushpa, Gautami and Netra have given A as the answer, that both are correct and it is the correct explanation. But I want to ask you all a question, children. It is for CBSE board ma. This is for the CBSE board exam. Okay, but I want to ask you all a question, children. Does the assertion talk about turtle or lizard? Yes? No? It is talking only about reptiles, right? It has not spoken about only turtle or only lizard. Correct? And look at the question. It is saying temperature at which fertilized egg is incubated plays a role in determining the sex of the offspring. Correct? But are they giving you a reason how this temperature is helping in determining the sex? Is there a reason which is explaining how the temperature is helping the offspring become a boy or a girl? No. They have just said that in case of turtle, high temperature means I have a female. If it is a lizard, high temperature means I have a male. Correct? Yes. So, you will say that both assertion and reason are true. But reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. Okay? Please analyze, children. This is how you are going to think and analyze. Think if there is a relationship between assertion and reason. is the assertion being reasoned as to why? Alright. Okay, assertion says selfing of a plant for several generations helps the plant breeders to obtain pure breeding varieties. Reason says pure breeding plants are heterozygous for many traits. Okay, very simple question. The assertion is talking about selfing of a plant for several generations, and they are saying that we are going to obtain a pure line variety. The reason is saying pure breeding plants are heterozygous for many traits. Do you think there is a correlation between assertion and reason here? Yes, no. What is the answer? I think this is quite a simple question. Everyone can give the answer. Most of you would get it right is what I assume. Yes, Gautami, Pushpa, Netra, Harshvardhan. I don't see Harshvardhan's answer at all for the last few questions. Has he disappeared? Okay. Gautami says no. Okay. What is the answer, Gautami? Okay. So, selfing of a plant for several generations help the plant breeders to obtain pure breeding. What is selfing? Selfing means self-pollination. That means I have a capital T, one plant. Okay. And I keep on inbreeding this plant. That means this plant is undergoing self-pollination. I told you, right? Male and female present in the same. So, definitely for ages together, if this is done, I will always be getting capital T only. Correct? That's a pure line breeding. So, the reason is saying pure breeding are heterozygous for many traits. A pure line can never be heterozygous. Pure line is always homozygous. Then only I can call it pure, right? So, pure means it has to be either this combination or this combination. It can never be this combination. Okay? So, pure line is never heterozygous. It is always homozygous. So, what is it? Assertion is true, reason is false. I thought it is an easy question, but most of you have failed to answer this question. Why? Okay. Assertion says a child which has inherited X chromosome from the father will develop into a girl child. The reason says girl child inherits X chromosome from the father, Y chromosome from the mother. This is again a most simplest question. Okay. So, I have a child who has inherited X chromosome from the father. Okay. And they are saying this is going to be a girl. Okay. Reason is saying girl child inherits X chromosome from the father, Y chromosome from the mother. Okay, Netra, Viksha have given the answer. Assertion is true. Reason is false. Very good. So, this was the same kind of question we had taken up earlier. So, it is going to be assertion true, reason false. Okay, assertion says if mother has two dominant alleles for black hair and father has two recessive alleles for blonde hair, then their child will inherit one dominant allele from the mother, one recessive allele from the father and will have black hair. Okay. Reason is saying the progeny inherits one gene for each trait from its parents, but the trait shown by the progeny depends on inherited alleles. Okay. Quite a big question to understand, but the concept is the same. Alright. Please read the question. They are saying mother has two dominant alleles for black hair. Okay. So, black hair is there and both are the dominant alleles. Father is having both recessive alleles for blonde hair. Then we have the progeny who is going to have one dominant allele from the mother, one recessive allele from the father, and they are saying that progeny will have black hair. Okay. If you want it in terms of cross, this is how it is going to look. And it is capital B, small b. They are saying this person is going to have a black hair. This is black hair, mother, and blonde hair, father. All right. Okay, Pushpa says assertion true, reason is false. Okay, Netra says assertion is true but don't know the reason, ma'am. Okay, don't you think Netra and Pushpa, look at the reason? Look at the reason. Because progeny inherits one gene for each trait from the parents, and the trait shows by the progeny depends on inherited alleles. Because progeny doesn't get one gene. Okay. All right. So here, please understand that instead of allele, they have used the word gene here. Okay. But if you look at what I have shown here, children, this is what it is. Okay. So one gene is one allele, what they have mentioned here. One from the father, one from the mother. Okay. And this is the dominant allele, which is why the person is showing a black. Correct? So whatever I have shown in the cross is what is the explanation of the reason. Okay. So explanation of the reason is, they have said one gene means one allele is coming from the father, one is coming from the mother, and depending on which is dominant, that person will show the trait. So we can say that both assertion and reason is correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. I hope you all have understood the concept, whatever I said. Okay. So based on whatever dominant and recessive character is there, the offspring is going to show up that particular trait or character. All right. I hope Netra and Pushpa have got the explanation for this. All right. So assertion says genes present in every cell of an organism control the traits of the organism. Reason says gene is specific segment of DNA occupying specific position on the chromosome. Okay. Please read this question. Assertion says genes present in every cell of the organism controls the traits of the organism. Reason says gene is specific segment of DNA occupying specific position on the chromosome. So the moment I read this itself, you should be able to get the answer. Is there a relationship between the assertion and reason? Okay, definitely there is no relationship, but at least is the assertion true and the reason true? That's what you are going to analyze and give the answer. Okay. So what is the assertion telling? Genes present in every cell of the organism. Okay, I already gave the answer. Still Harshvardhan is saying A is the answer. Okay. Netra says reason is true. Yes. What about the assertion? Okay, let's go quick. Both assertion and reason are true, but there is no relationship between the assertion and reason, children. Assertion says genes present in every cell controls the traits. They are talking about the character. And this reason is talking about what is a gene. Okay. The first assertion they are talking about genes controlling the characteristic. But reason is talking about what is a gene, definition, where there is no correlation at all. So both are correct, but there is no explanation of the reason for the assertion. All right. So next we'll take up some quick questions, short answer type questions. Okay. So what are autosomes and sex chromosomes? Already I have explained here. We have 23 pairs of chromosomes, out of which 22 pairs are the autosomes, which do not take part in reproduction, and we have one pair of sex chromosome which is going to determine whether the child is going to be a boy or a girl. In case of males, it is going to be XY. In case of females, it is XX. Very simple. Okay, a normal pea plant bearing colored flowers suddenly starts producing white flowers. What could be the possible cause? Okay, so I have a pea plant. This pea plant is always giving me colored flowers, violet colored flowers. Suddenly, it has started to produce white colored flowers. What is the reason for this? Okay, very simple. The answer for this is nothing but mutation. What is mutation? Mutation is a sudden heritable change. Nobody knows why. Everybody in the world, so many of the people, they keep smoking cigarettes. Correct? They smoke. But not everyone who smokes gets cancer. Why only few people get cancer? Not all. In that case, every single person who is smoking should get cancer. That does not happen. So many people smoke, but only some end up getting cancer. The reason is mutation. Okay? Mutation is a sudden heritable change. Nobody knows when, why and how it can happen. Okay? So that is the reason for this change from colored flowers to white flowers. Okay. What will be the percentage of small a small b gametes produced by capital A small a capital B small b parents? Most simple question. So what are the different gametes that we are going to get from this? We can get capital A, capital B. We can get capital A small b, small a capital B, small a small b. So I can get 4 possible combinations, correct? So they have asked this particular combination. Considering all the 4 as 100%, if I have to get only this combination, it is going to be 25%. Okay, so I have 4 possible combinations. Out of the 4 possible combinations, small a small b combination is only 25%. Okay. What is the percentage of possibility of a couple having daughters? So, chance she getting a girl. There are only 2 possibilities. It should be either a boy or a girl. Correct? So, it is 50%. Okay? So, when the lady is pregnant, she can either have a boy or she can have a girl. Yes, Netra, that's right. Okay? So, that is 50%. Okay. Okay, this particular question, long answer question, is from 2023 question paper, children. Please note that this particular question is 2023 paper which is being asked, CBSE board. What happens when the egg is not fertilized? How is sperm genetically different from a human egg or ova? List any 3 contraceptive methods practiced for family planning. Mention how these methods work. Okay. So, this is a long answer question which was asked in the previous year paper. Alright. So, if you look at the first question, what happens when the egg is not fertilized? It results in menstrual cycle. Correct? So, menstruation happens. How is sperm genetically different from the egg? So, how are you going to present your paper? So, I am showing you the answer which is expected by the CBSE board, and that is how you are going to present it. As I told, when the session ends, the link will be posted in the comment. Please download this PDF so that you will have the answers, how you are supposed to answer this question. Okay. So, if the egg is not fertilized, the inner lining of the endometrium, the uterus, okay, that is going to just get worn out. Okay. So, the fertilized egg is going to be dead and it has to be discharged from the uterus, resulting in bleeding. Okay. This is called as menstrual cycle or menstruation. Okay. Very good, Pushpa. The uterine wall sheds off the mucus and blood, but if you have to present, you will be presenting it this way. Presentation matters. Okay. So, when you cook a dish, the first thing that's going to appeal you is your eyes. So, the moment you see that it is presented very well, you feel like having it, right? So, presentation is very, very important for the examiner. Whether you write the answer correctly or don't write it correctly, at least present it properly and underline the important words so that it gives an appealing appearance to the person who corrects your paper, children. Okay. So this is how you are going to present. Wherever you feel that there are important terms, important words, please underline it. Okay. So it gives the impression that you know everything. All right. The question next, how the sperm is different from the egg. Okay. So sperms are going to have 22 autosomes plus the allosomes are X and Y. So sperms are going to have XY chromosomes, whereas eggs are going to have XX chromosomes. Correct? So during the process of fertilization, what is going to happen? Based on whether the X chromosome fertilizes with the egg or Y chromosome fertilizes with the egg, the offspring is going to be a boy or a girl. Okay. So that is how they play a very, very important role in determining the gender of the offspring. Kindly present it in the same manner that I have put forth here. Please download the PDF so that you get these answers. All right. Contraception. What is contraception? The methods which is followed by couple to prevent unwanted pregnancy. So they do not want to get pregnant. So what are the artificial techniques or methods to avoid pregnancy? That is what is a contraceptive method. Okay. And this method is called by other names like birth control, anti-conception or fertility control. Okay. Yes, Pushpa, you have given a very good answer here. I can see it. Okay. Sperms have mismatched pair of chromosomes, whereas ova have, yes, that is what we have written as XX and XY. Okay. So making it more simpler and easier. So what you have written in the form of statement, kindly write it as XX and XY so that it gives a better, clear explanation. All right. Okay. So we have different methods of contraception. Barrier method. Okay. So barrier methods are those which is going to physically block the mating of sperm and egg. This could be spermicides, condoms, cervical caps, diaphragms. So what are these barriers doing? Barriers means it's like a wall. So the barrier between you and your neighbor is a wall. Correct? So barrier is definitely not going to allow the mating of the sperm and the egg. Alright. So you can give many of the examples. The other methods, it can be intrauterine devices, IUDs. Okay. So intrauterine means the one inserted inside the uterus. So uterine is uterus, intra is inside. So those devices which are fit or placed inside the uterus, they are, yes, physical barriers. So what they do? They inhibit the sperm from meeting the egg. Most commonly used IUD is copper T. So what is copper T doing? Copper T is labeled so because it is appearing like this. So if this is the uterus, this is copper T which is placed like this, and this copper T is going to release copper ions. That is why it is named copper. So what these copper ions do is they are going to damage the sperm. So they just affect the sperm movement. Just imagine the sperms are trying to enter inside and these copper ions are just damaging and pushing it away. So what happens? The sperms die. Okay. So sperms cannot meet the egg. The third method is oral pills. Okay. So pills are another most important method of contraceptives. Tablets. So what are these tablets? It is a combination of progestogen or progesterone and estrogen. These are the female hormones. So female hormones in different combinations, they are being used as pills. So what these pills do is they are going to alter or inhibit the ovulation. That means release of the egg. Okay. So when egg itself is not released, what will happen? There is no fertilization, there is no pregnancy. The second thing they do is they are altering the cervical mucus. They make the cervical mucus very, very thick. So when the cervical mucus becomes thick, what happens? The sperms cannot swim. Just imagine swimming in water and swimming in sugar syrup, gulab jamun. It becomes very difficult, right? People can't swim with gulab jamun. It's going to be sticky. Correct? No. Pushpa has asked, do IUDs prevent sexually transmitted diseases? Definitely no. It does not prevent STDs, but a barrier method, condoms, cervical caps to an extent can prevent STDs. Alright. So, these are the 3 methods of contraception. Okay, another 2023 question. In order to trace the inheritance of traits, Mendel crossed pea plants having one contrasting character or a pair of contrasting characters. When he crossed pea plant having round yellow seeds with pea plants having wrinkled green seeds, he observed that no plant with wrinkled and green seeds were obtained in the F1 generation. When the F1 generation pea plants were crossbred by self-pollination, the F2 generation had seeds with different combination of shape and color also. Write any 2 pair of contrasting characteristics of the pea plant used by Mendel other than those mentioned above. Differentiate between dominant and recessive traits. State the ratio of combinations observed in the seeds of F2 generation in the above case. What do you interpret from this result? Again, this is a previous year question that I have put here. So, if you see the first question, they have asked any 2 pairs of contrasting characters other than what is mentioned. So, if you see Mendel's contrasting characters, he has chosen 7 pair of contrasting characters in the pea plant. So, you can write any of it. Whatever they have given are round yellow, wrinkled green, but we have 7 more. So, you can put any of the 7 characteristics like the shape, the pea color, pod shape, pod color, flower color, plant size, position of the flowers. So, they have asked any 2 from your exam point of view. You can choose any 2 of it, but I have given you all 7 here. Kindly go through it. The difference between dominant and recessive traits, you know by now what is a dominant and recessive trait. Dominant means even in the presence of a heterozygous condition, it is always expressed, correct? But recessive is only expressed in the homozygous condition. And I have also given you a few differences, how the person is going to look when he is having a dominant trait and how is he going to look with a recessive trait, okay? So, dominant trait is always expressed in capital letter, recessive trait is denoted by small letter, okay? So, what are the dominant traits? You can see a V-shaped hairline, almond-shaped eyes, right-handedness, detached earlobes, dark hair and brown eyes. Whereas, a person who is showing a recessive trait will have straight hairline. What is this V-shape? This is widow's peak, the center part of your forehead. For some people, it is like this, correct? So, this is called as a V-shaped hairline, okay, the center part. Some people, it is just straight. So, you draw your face like this, no? So, it is a straight hairline. Round eyes, left-handedness, attached earlobes, blonde hair, red hair, blue eyes, okay? So, this is a trait of a person who is recessive. So, you can see where you fit in, alright. And the question which was asked was about round yellow, wrinkled green. So, definitely it is a dihybrid cross which is 9:3:3:1. You can just give some explanation. You need not do the cross since it is not asked. Alright. So, there is one more question that I have put up here, but we do not have lack of time. But this is again previous year question paper, children, which is talking about the monohybrid cross. So, kindly practice monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, because most of the PYQs have asked these crosses, okay. Monohybrid, dihybrid cross, kindly be thorough. I think we have gone beyond our time. So, let me end the session here. Alright, thank you all. Thank you very much for attending today's session. If there is any doubt, please post your doubts in the comment and I will be clearing your doubts in the next week, okay. When you come back for the next class, go through the chapter Our Environment. Link will be posted. Kindly download the PDF. You will get all the answers. Alright. Thank you all. Have a good night. All the very best. Keep preparing and all of you keep smiling. Alright. Bye.